fuck. Alright, man, what's going on in this bitch? You already know who it is. It's your boy Luciano. Today we're gonna be coming at y'all boys with a story time on how I got stabbed by my motherfucking Finishline manager. I don't even know where to start because this shit's still crazy to me to this day. I've been plotting on doing a story time on this shit for I don't know how long, but I told myself I was gonna do it when I actually get a camera. Okay, where the fuck do I start, right? So once upon a time, I was working at this Finishline that was located inside of a Macy's. If you guys been inside of malls here and there, you guys have walked past a Macy's and then yet seen like a little Finishline in there at the same time. That's the type of Finishline I worked at. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Just know I was working at Finishline. I say that to say this. The reason why that's important is because those type of Finishlines, or at least the Finishline I was at, you would be working by yourself. So like if you work at a Finishline that's incubated with a Macy's, like a partnership type shit, then you're most likely working by yourself every shift. Same for the next person. So like at my Finishline, we had like rotation. So there was never like a team of 2 people working. There was one person working from 9 to 4 and the next person would come in from 4 to whenever it closed, right? And it was a rotation. So it wasn't even too many people working. Anyways, right? We were going through a phase of having no manager for a long time. Like one of our good managers when I first started got fired. She was cool as hell. We were around the same age. Shout out to you. You already know who you is type shit. But they ended up firing her and then we ended up getting like shitty ass replacements, bad managers, just managers I couldn't get along with and neither could my coworkers get along with. So speed up time, right? There was this time we ended up not having a manager for like 2 to 3 months. The store manager was anxiously looking for an in-store manager because nobody was managing. It was just me and this other girl just rotating and doing sales and doing what we know best, right? So sooner or later, we eventually end up finding a manager, right? It's this Mexican dude, right? We end up all coming in on a Saturday to meet this new manager dude. I forgot the fucking name. I forgot his name. I'm not gonna disclose his name, but we end up all coming in on a Saturday. My store manager ends up telling me and my coworker, whoever else be working on weekends when I'm not there, to come in to meet the new manager. We all come in to meet the new manager, blah, blah, blah. My name's this, hello, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Now, 5 minutes after meeting this dude, this motherfucker already talking about some, yeah, man, there's a lot of change that need to happen here, man. Like, I'm gonna be the guy that gets this store started back up again. Like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I want this. We're gonna be doing everything my way. The nigga literally said that, like, after our store manager, like, walked off to, like, go have, like, lunch or something, this nigga got to, like, making it seem like he was the fucking store manager, saying we gotta do shit his way, and if it's not done his way, it's the wrong way. Just came in militant and passive aggressive as fuck, like, on his first day. Remind you, this is, like, 10 minutes of me knowing him so far, so I'm already like, oh yeah, he's one of those. That shit's not gonna work with me. So down the line, this motherfucker would always just like pick on me for nothing. Like, to remind you, like this store, like the Finishline I would work at, I would not necessarily have to stand up all the time because like I said earlier, there's only one person working per shift, right? So there's no need for me to be standing up trying to fucking look around for customers or look for attention because one, we don't even sell like the shoes that Finishline sell on their website. We sell like alternative Finishline shoes, like shit for old people. Y'all know how this shit goes. It's not like a Finishline for what the fuck we wear. It's a Finishline for like old people who need like Skechers and shit. So it's not like business was ever fucking booming because we didn't even sell Air Forces at that bitch. At least we literally sold like Nike Roshi runs type of shoes and shit for like old people. Anyways, so yeah, there'd be times this nigga would like try to come in early and then he'd see me sitting down and tell me that I can't sit down because I used to pull a bench up behind the register and fucking sit down and watch TV and Netflix because like nobody would fucking come to our little store. And when someone did come to our store, it wasn't shit for them to get my attention because it's literally me and them and it's a small ass store. It's not big at all. It's not even a fucking store. It's like one of those little, whatever the fuck you would call, you know, like those little stands you see in the mall type shit, like everybody's little independent store that be in like the mall and shit. It was like that, but for a Finishline. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal for me to be on my phone because anybody who needs my attention, it's not shit because I'm the only one here. All I have to do is walk up to the register and now we're 1 feet away from each other. This nigga used to try to come in and say that store manager is watching us on camera and he can see everything so you can't sit down and just say a whole bunch of bullshit. Like there was his camera that he was indicating to that would be right on the side of me, but our store manager had no access to that camera. Like nigga, you don't even make sense. And I remember one time I told his ass like, how the fuck can a store manager see that? Because the only people that can see these cameras are the people that are looking at these cameras via in the fucking store right now, Macy's. So how the fuck does our store manager who lives all the way in Chicago have access to these cameras? I literally asked this nigga nigga that, and he gave me the most shittiest, sarcastic response you could have probably expected from this nigga. Like, oh, well, like, he told me that he has access to the cameras. Like, he personally told me. Like, nigga, no the fuck he didn't. This nigga started to, like, say things. This nigga would say anything over time. Like, over time, this nigga would say anything and then say that our store manager told him to say that. Because he thought that we would never contact the store manager and ask him or validate to see what the fuck he was saying was actually true. And so one of my coworkers did, and they ended up texting him and asking him, like, hey, do you have access to these cameras? And our store manager literally texted my coworker and said no. And so then the next day, I purposely bring it up to his attention and say, yeah, somebody asked the store manager, did he have access to these cameras? And he said no. And this motherfucker caught the craziest attitude and said like some crazy ass shit. And just, yeah, honestly, that doesn't even matter. The point is, right, this motherfucker over time would just nitpick about the littlest shit, the shoestrings not being inside out, or fixing the shoestrings and fixing the shoes on the wall. Like, nigga, nobody wants these fucking shoes. Nobody around our age is about to come in here and buy these shoes. So there's no reason why this place needs to look the prettiest. Old people are coming in here looking at these old ass shoes and buying them regardless. So literally this nigga would just nitpick about the littlest shit. Like, he would be power hungry. Like, he would only do that to make himself feel good. Like, oh yeah, I'm in control, so I'm gonna tell this guy who thinks that he has a future for himself what to do. And he used to just, like, he used to give off the most ego, like the biggest ego, like just completely power hungry. Like, if you've had one of those type of managers, then you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And me and this nigga used to clash heads all the time, because you're not gonna do that shit with me. That shit not fucking working, loser. So me and this nigga got into it overtime, to the point that I end up contacting my store manager and telling him I cannot work with him. I cannot. If I have to work with him, I will quit, right? So over time, once again, my manager started changing our schedule to be a part of to make sure that we'll never see each other. So I always did mornings, which was 10 to 4, and this nigga will come in at 4. Boom. Case closed. We never started seeing each other for, again, ever since those fucking interactions, we stopped seeing each other for like a month or two, right? So I'm like, okay, bet, shit's going good. Like, by the time 4 o'clock hit, like, nigga, I used to walk out at 4 o'clock, like literally 4 o'clock in 1 second, or I would clock out at 3:59 to make sure I wouldn't even see this nigga's body from a distance walking up. So did everyone else who also worked morning shifts when I wasn't there. Like, everybody would make sure that they clocked out before they seen this nigga, because he was irritating as fuck. Always had some shit to say, and he was little as hell, and he was shorter than everybody, so it pissed me off even more. And nigga, I will fucking crush you. After about a month or two, right, we stopped seeing each other. I'm clocking out expeditiously fast, like at 3:58, 3:59, to make sure I don't even see this nigga or feel this nigga's soul approaching. So there was this one in particular day, right? Well, after a month or two, this motherfucker used to, like, he started to try to show up like at 3:45 and 3 o'clock. This nigga used to try to show up like an hour before he was scheduled, just so he can see us and be ignorant and do some power hunger ass shit. This nigga would try to show up an hour before his schedule shifts, because he started to notice that everybody would leave before he could even talk to him. He started to notice that everybody was purposely leaving like a minute or 2 minutes before, so nobody would see his ass, right? So his ass started to come in like an hour early to try to just nitpick once again, say shit that doesn't matter, and just try to fucking boss everyone around. So I'm like, oh hell no. This nigga started to catch on to everybody else's trick, because everybody, like I said, everybody, motherfuckers would do everything in their power not to see this nigga, right? So there was this one particular day, he came in, I was off at 4, and this nigga was coming in at 4, but of course this nigga's about to come in like at 3:30 or 3 o'clock at that. This nigga came in like at 3 o'clock or 3:30, I don't fucking remember, and I was sitting down on the bench. To remind you, like I said, you already know how this nigga feel about me sitting down. And this nigga saw me sitting down, came and clocked in, and it was like, what are you doing? What's going on? Is there nothing for you to do? I'm hell nah. Like, I just did everything, like, and there's no customers. I'm finna leave in 10 minutes. And he get to just saying a whole bunch of shit like, oh man, you can't be sitting down. That's not a part of the job. If you're gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna have to fucking write you up or report you to the store manager, and then eventually you're gonna get fired or some shit like that. And I'm like, bro, I've been working here for 2 years. 2 years. I don't need you telling me shit. Like, I understand everything about this store from head to toe. The algorithm of customers, the traffic, what time we have traffic, what days we have traffic. There's nothing you're telling me that's about to make me fucking work different or be better, nigga, because you're no fucking help. You're annoying as fuck. So literally, we're literally getting into it, right? We're clashing heads. This nigga saying a whole bunch of shit. I'm basically telling him that I don't give a fuck what he talking about. I'm gonna keep doing me. And so after all of that, right, we just going back and forth. We going back and forth. This nigga telling me to clock out. I'm bet, nigga, I'll clock out. He talking about some, nah, I'll clock out for you. Nah, nigga, I'll clock out myself. And sorry, I'm revisualizing this shit. It is really making me mad. And so he like, all right, yeah, clock out. I'm like, I bet. And so we basically then said some shit to each other. I'm pretty sure I didn't call him like a bitch ass nigga, a loser or a lame or something under my breath while I was walking away. And so he probably heard that. I clock out. I go to my fucking car. Right now, I get in my car on my way home. Now I'm halfway home, right? I get a call from my fucking manager. Literally the Mexican nigga. I get a call from him and I answer. I'm like, what's good? A second into me answering, this nigga over the phone talking about some bitch ass nigga. Where you at? Da-da-da-da-da. You wanna fight? Pussy, come back. Da-da-da-da-da. Remind you, this is my fucking manager. This is a grown ass man calling a 19-year-old, calling him a bitch ass nigga, all this other shit. The nigga was just going on a rampage, like something you would never think a manager would do, right? So I'm over the phone like, oh yeah, bitch ass nigga, I'm finna pull around right now. So I pull around and I drive back to the mall. I drive back to my mall. I'm like, bet I'm finna go see what his temperature like. So I drive back to the mall. I walk back up. I walk straight back to the Macy's because it's a Macy's inside the mall, which is where our finish line is at. So I walk up to the fucking finish line. I see this bitch ass nigga helping a customer. And so I walk up to this nigga and I'm like, hey, so what's good? Like, what's the word? Like, what you wanna do? Like, come on right now. Fuck that. He talking about, no, I'm with a customer. I'm not, hell nah, fuck that customer. What you want to do, nigga? So I ain't gonna lie, I walked up to this nigga while he was helping the customer and started applying that pressure, because at this point, nigga, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who around, who watching, nigga. You just started something. Yeah, motherfucker, it's over. So I walked up to this nigga. I'm applying nothing but pressure. I'm basically causing a scene, right? I pull out my fucking phone. I start recording this nigga. I'm looking at this bitch ass nigga. He ain't on shit. He ain't on shit. And anybody that got me added on Snapchat, y'all remember this fucking day. Y'all remember this day. Y'all remember this day. It was on my private store. I'm recording this nigga on my Snap. I'm like, look at this bitch ass nigga. After I'm just like recording this nigga, I got my phone right in his face. I'm getting closer and closer and closer. So once I get closer, I end up punching off this nigga with my phone in my hand. I just end up punching off this nigga with my phone in my hand. Next thing you know, we get the scrabbling and shit, right? Busting his ass. I'm busting him. I'm not lying about none of this. If I got my ass beat, I would happily tell y'all I got my ass beat. I am not one of those. But he's little. I got the advantage. So we banging out, right? He little as hell. I'm moving around fast as fuck because this is the most advantage I feel like I've had in a fight in a long time. I'm busting him. Busting him, moving around. Next thing you know, right? He Mexican, right? He get on some wrestling shit. And so next thing you know, he end up grabbing me. He end up grabbing me like by my waist, because remind you, he like to my fucking chest. So he ended up like grabbing me by my waist. And so as soon as he grabbed me by my waist, I end up like grabbing him like around his head. And I'm like busting his shit in, right? I get like 2, 3, 3.5 hits in, right? And then to myself, I start noticing like, why the fuck is this nigga just like eating these punches while I got his ass in the lock? Next thing you know, a Somalian woman out of nowhere says, stop, please. She was like, stop fighting, you're bleeding. And so I'm like, how the fuck am I bleeding, right? To me, I'm like, how the fuck am I bleeding? This nigga ain't touched my face at all. I've been banging his ass out. Next thing you know, the Somali lady said, he pulled out a knife, he stabbed you. So I'm like, what the fuck? He stabbed me. So I lift my fucking like shirt up, right? I see a whole bunch of blood just coming out of the side. Like my side rib, like my rib cage right here. I just see a whole bunch of blood flowing out that shit. So I look at this shit. Then I look at him, I'm like, bitch ass nigga, you stabbed me? This shit all on camera. If you work at Macy's and you seen the footage, you know I'm not capped. So whatever. So boom, the lady tell me that. I stopped fighting because I'm like, hell no, this shit ain't worth losing my life over. Like, this nigga could have stabbed me and I can die. So once I acknowledged that I got stabbed, this nigga like ran away. This nigga literally like ran away, like completely left the scene on some GTA shit. And so I walk up to the Somali lady and shit, and she, you know what I'm saying, she being helpful. She giving me a shirt, her son giving me tissues and shit to clean up my wound and blah fucking blah. And then she telling me if I need somebody that needs to vouch for me and basically like, if I need evidence that this nigga was basically a loser and that how he tried to stab me, then I can call her, basically if I need evidence type shit, right? I'm like, okay, cool, she cool as hell. I get her phone number. Long story short, I think she ended up I think she sent me the video of me and this nigga fighting, but it was like from far as hell. It wasn't even like, you couldn't even see shit, and I was on my old phone, like, and I got an iPhone 14 now, and that other phone that she sent it to, I don't even have anymore, so that shit was on the because that shit was saved onto the iPhone itself. It wasn't saved onto iCloud. Otherwise, I would have gladly showed it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, bro, the nigga stabbed me or whatever. All the Macy management supervisors and whoever else you could think of start coming up there asking me questions like, what happened? Like, are you okay? So at this point, I'm like under shock. Like, I don't even know what to say, because like now my breathing and shit, I'm struggling with breathing and shit, because like I'm stabbed. Like, I'm stabbed the fuck up. And I don't know, it's just a whole bunch of shit going through my head, because now like I can't even stand up and shit, right? So when I get stabbed, I end up calling my ex-girlfriend like, hey, I just got stabbed. Woo, her ass, I ain't gonna lie, shout out to you. She was a real one. I ain't gonna disclose her name, but she know who she was. She zoomed her ass there quick as hell, blowing my phone up, making sure that I was straight. So like me, let me hurry up and see this shit, right? So my girl ended up sliding on me quick as hell, trying to make sure that I was straight. She blowing my phone out. At the same time, I'm talking to the supervisor and the management of Macy's, telling them what the fuck happened, right? They're like, where'd he go? I'm like, I don't know, this bitch ass nigga ran. Like, literally, those exact words. I'm pissed as hell. At the same time, I'm like losing my shit, because I'm just losing blood, right? So my girl ended up driving me to the emergency room, right? They end up throwing me on the stretcher. They run me to the back of the room, like in those movies and shit, when they're like, if somebody gets shot, like hurry up type. Now I'm like looking up, I'm tired as hell, I'm kind of like in shock mode. Fucking, I don't even know how many doctors around me. It's just like a fucking movie scene, right? And so now they're like trying to measure the wound with a needle and all this garbage, right? This bitch ass nigga almost stabbed my fucking kidney. They told me this nigga was a few centimeters off stabbing my kidney, you bitch ass nigga. Anyways, right, long story short, without saying some extra shit, I was good. I was good. Only thing is, the bitch ass nigga stabbed me. So following the next day, I wake up in the morning to like 3 missed calls, like somebody blowing my phone up. I answer, I'm hello. I'm telling you, like, I literally just wake up. It's the person blowing up my phone. I wake up and I'm like, hello? I'm like, what's up? It's this nigga again. He talking about some, oh yeah, you bitch ass motherfucker, you gonna snitch, you gonna snitch. To remind you, but you dumb fat bitch, you already snitched on yourself. You did all this shit on camera, just like I put myself out there. Nigga, we both snitched. If we talking, right? It's like 9 a.m. in the morning. This nigga just talking crazy, like, I'm gonna find out where you live and I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna do this and do that. I'm like, bro, the day already over, bro. Let this shit go. Yo ass didn't stab me. I beat your ass. There is no, like, call it go. It's whatever the fuck. Call it truce, whatever the fuck. I ain't say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, in my head, I'm like, this nigga tripping. We both lost our jobs at this point. Like, nigga, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I be on some tweak shit, but I got IQ. I'm not slow. Like, nigga, there ain't no point of us contacting each other. We shouldn't even be talking to each other. We should just leave this shit to if we see each other. This nigga started calling me throughout the week again, just making random ass threats, saying random shit. And I ain't think too much of it, because he a bitch, he a little Mexican fat nigga, like, so I ain't really take him serious. But yeah, man, that's the story, how I got stabbed by my fucking Finishline manager, like, legit. Oh, and he stabbed me with some, like, so you guys know, like, those things old heads be carrying, like, you know, like, if your grandpa had it on his keys, anybody who know, like, you know how your grandpa would have, like, this little thing, and it'll have, like, 4 different blades on it, and, like, a little twirly ass screw, and then like a sharp ass knife on it, like a switchblade kind of, but like, I don't know, some shit old heads be carrying, just in case if they need a knife or something. Like, it just be having like random blades on there. He stabbed me with that. Yeah, that's it, man. That's the story of me getting stabbed by my fucking badass manager. I just seen this bitch ass nigga, which is funny, like 6 months ago at a gas station, and I tried to tell him, like, come to the schmut, because I want to beat his ass again, but the right way. But he drove off. Yeah, man, and that's the story. Hopefully this shit didn't come off long as hell. Yeah, man, I still can't believe this shit to this day. I had to say this story before I ended up forgetting it. Yeah, man, hope y'all enjoyed this shit. Yeah, that's that, bro. I lost my job, of course. Did I get any money from that? The people might be asking. I did. It was some little shit. Probably wondering why I only got little money. I wasn't looking to get any money out of this situation, because I initiated it. Like, he initiated it, but I like added coal to the fire. Like, I wanted to fight this nigga, so I ain't want no money out of it. I wanted to fight this nigga. Yeah, man, got fired, let go, blah blah blah. So did he. Still kind of pissed I lost that job, because like I said, that job was smooth as fuck. Like, I ain't have to do nothing. I just sat down all day and just help customers when I wanted to. And I used to help the Macy's employees with their customers if I felt like it, or if there was somebody cute as hell working across, because I worked in like a women's department. So if the girl that was working in the women's department was cute, I would definitely help her customers too. Anyways, that's the story time. I'm gone, boy. Hopefully I enjoyed that. And yeah, I just woke up too, so